Welcome to the Lucha Lounge. I'm your host, Steve DeMarco. I hope whatever day you're catching this, that you are truly enjoying that day as well as the episode. I hope you're enjoying your week. I hope you're enjoying your holidays. I know the holidays can be rough for some. Hey, I'm not saying that I'm impervious to that. I have my peaks and valleys when it comes to the holidays. Some days are better than others, but I'm trying to enjoy them for the most part. Trying to enjoy my day, and as I said, I hope you're enjoying yours. Irregardless of how you're catching this latest episode, whether it be in video format, you subscribe to my YouTube channel and you catch these videos. If you're normally looking for it on Sunday, I'm sorry that it was a little delayed. I recorded it actually on Sunday because it was such a long day for me on Saturday, and I wanted to, based on what the topic was, I wanted to hold off until I was, wide awake and whatnot. Or you like the audio podcast format and you subscribe to the Offshoots Network, which you can get that in a variety of ways, whether it be iTunes, Google Play, Satchel, Beyond Pod, which is what I use, or a whole slew of other podcasts, or, podcast apps out there. But though the episode usually drops on Mondays. So yeah, now 2017, it'll be different. I think YouTube will have a completely different feel as far as video content goes, as opposed to the audio format. Audio format will roughly remain the same, interviews and such, whereas it's a little bit more long form. The YouTube videos will be shorter, simply because of the medium and whatnot, and I think it's time that I went that route. Now, last week did not have a video. My apologies to those that do subscribe and listen and are fans. I do apologize for not having an episode last week. Second time this year. So doing pretty good overall, and I'm hoping to finish out 2016 with some consistent videos, because I have some topics. Probably won't have any guests, although I do plan on recording some episodes in the coming weeks for 2017. But I've got a couple of topics, including this topic, and then a couple more topics to round out my 2016 edition or season or whatever have you. But yeah, now a little business before I continue. The next set of television tapings for Reality Wrestling will take place January 14th. It will take place at the World Gym Arena, and we're coming off the heels of a historic and epic set of tapings for Christmas Chaos 11. What a night it was last night for me and the men and women of Reality Wrestling. I'm just happy to be a part of it. And I've got some things in the works for January. Speaking of January, but that's more personal, and I'll get into that later on. So stay tuned after I get through with my review. Also, for any parents who would like their kids to take part in the Reality Wrestling Kids Camp, you can get the details at realitywrestling.com, where you can also get the latest episode, which airs usually on the CW 39 at midnight on Saturdays. But in case you're not, you don't have that channel, you can definitely catch it at realitywrestling.com or our YouTube channel. Be sure to check it out and support Reality Wrestling, because 2016 is big. 2017 is probably going to be bigger. Now on to the main topic of this show, which is a spoiler-free review of Christmas Chaos 11. I did this last year on YouTube, so go back and check out that one as well as my past episodes and whatnot. But for those that are new, because of the podcast and whatnot, I typically don't do a spoiler-filled review of an event, because we obviously will air those matches on television and really want to give our fans a chance to check them out. Now, it won't be totally spoiler-free in the sense of I will be talking about some stuff that did happen on the show, but I won't be giving away like winners and losers necessarily, or finishes. So if you're looking for those, my apologies, that's just not how I go. I definitely want people to tune into the episodes as they come out, especially since I produce a lot of those promo segments and whatnot. So it's I definitely want you to check out all that stuff. And but man, what a night. Now, 10 years in the making, as I've mentioned. Being part of Christmas Chaos 1 as a talent was something extremely special to me, and a true highlight of my career, getting to wrestle with Maga. really enjoyed that match. Really enjoyed the feedback I got from that, and really felt like I was on the right track. Starting out with what was then PWA, but starting out with Booker T and whatnot. It was definitely one of my personal highlights of my career. And so now being, and I've been in the producer role for a number of years, but Christmas Chaos is always a special time for all of us, especially those that have been with Booker for a number of years. But it's special to all the men and women who take part, who are staff, all of that. It's a very special evening. We had a phenomenal crowd. I mean, almost standing room only. I mean, I think we had some extra chairs, but for the most part, we were a sold-out event, and truly sold out in every sense of the word. My appreciation to all those that came out and made it such a special night. Special thanks to a guy celebrating his birthday as I'm recording this, Rey Mysterio Jr. It was just phenomenal to see him again, get to talk to him a little bit. Just to have him be part of the event was truly special, and but all in all, that show was great. So as I like to do with these reviews, I'll give my thoughts about the matches and what I liked, and some of the stuff that went on. So without further ado, let's now, these may not air in this order, so beware. I'm going based on the run sheet that I was given, because it also gives me the list of promos that we're going to film, whether we film that day or and more than likely when we film on our big film days and whatnot. A little behind the scenes there, but anyway, show started with Miranda versus Kira Hogan. I thought a match was pretty solid from these two. I believe I want to say that the winner probably coming out of this will get a title opportunity in the near future. So I thought it was paramount for both to try to gain some momentum, and both women really showed out. Always been impressed with both. Kira really has impressed me every time that she's shown up, and Miranda as of late, what I've seen, I've enjoyed. Really I thought really liked that match. Second match kind of had a shocking ending. I mean, it had a lot of build-up. It was Mitch Baxter, the one. Mitch Baxter, he took on Rob Barnes. Very shocking ending. It kind of ended before it began. It seemed like Mitch trying to play mind games and whatnot, and unfortunately did not work in his favor. That's about the only spoiler I'll give. And then for the television title matchup that had Rex Andrews defending his title against a guy who had defeated him at our last set of tapings, Terrell Tempo, who has been making waves, and I've been really impressed with his athleticism and whatnot. He's trying to find his voice when it comes to promos and such, but there's something there. I really feel like that, and Rex has been, man, on another level. The guy's been highly successful, highly competitive, had some very solid matches. He's kind of the breaker of, not just the breaker of arms, but the breaker of dreams, so to speak, because it seems like anytime a hero gets the upper hand on him, he's able to demolish that pretty quickly. And this was one of the better matches of the evening for me. And at the end of it, we got our first bit of history. I mean, I hate to give a lot of spoilers, but television title basically became vacated because the winner of that match became the first ever Reality Wrestling Texas champion. Now, what I believe that means is that the champion will be able to defend that title, that Reality Wrestling Texas heavyweight title, anywhere probably in the state, and he'll be able to put that on the line, which will further the brand and really further that person, the champion's brand, so to speak. So good matchup from those two. I've really enjoyed watching those two the last couple of matches, and who knows, that may not be the last that we see of those two facing off. And congrats to the champion. He's now the first ever Texas champion. Nice belt presented to him by Booker T, and really historic moment. And again, kudos to both men, and congratulations to the champion. Next up, we had Abel Andrew Jackson, who's now part of what I deem expert tutelage, which is Stevie Ray Incorporated, but I like expert tutelage. I think that's a great, like, stable name, so to speak. He has joined forces with Team Death Bear and kind of turned his back on, you know, what for a lot was one of the best performers of reality wrestling overall, the face of reality wrestling. Abel Andrew Jackson kind of turned his back. He's, you know, he's now the truth, and the truth hurts. And he took on Buku Dao, who I always enjoy watching. Guy's got a phonetic pace and some amazing agility, and I believe Abel, you know, a little inside was dealing with an injury. But really good matchup for those, and it's crazy to see Abel and Stevie Ray on the same, you know, basically on the same team, and for Stevie to be giving such great tutelage to Abel. But you know, Abel's always been a great performer in my eyes, and I'm very eager to see where they go from here. Next up, we had El Mascara take on 1/3 of La Familia, Alex Villarreal. Alex and I go way back. We used to team up back in the day, back in PWA days. We took on a certain Samoan Brotherhood, otherwise known as the Usos, which is on YouTube. You can catch part 1, part 2. You know, go check it. It's out there. But anyway, Alex is now part of La Familia, and they've been having some issues with El Mascara for whatever reason. Whenever I speak to El Mascara, he's, you know, speaks way better Spanish than me, and you know, he seems to really respect the luchador heritage and is a luchador himself in my eyes. And you know, coming out of the Lucha Extrema or Ultima Lucha Extrema match. But these two battled. I enjoyed it. I always enjoy seeing Mascara in the ring and what he brings to it, as well as getting to see Alex get in the ring and be physical. That's always nice. Again, you know, I was pulled for friends of mine and whatnot, and Alex is a buddy, so you know, it was good to see him on a big show like Christmas Chaos 11. Next up was kind of in a surprise. Tyree Taylor basically came out when Big Sean Studd has been the second generation giant. He has been putting out challenges and facing, you know, not just one guy or two guys or three guys, but four guys sometimes, you know, tag teams, and done fairly well. And I think he really wanted to face 5 people, and out came Tyree. I think Tyree had, you know, held himself in pretty high esteem. I think he did pretty well for himself, but again, you know, facing Stud, and then at the end of it, we got to see Van Harrison, who recently debuted on Reality Wrestling, another big guy and a very imposing figure, and curious to see what happens. There was a little physicality between himself and Sean Studd, and I really enjoyed that, and I'm looking forward to seeing where they go with it moving forward. And again, it was good to see Tyree out there, you know, as he finds his way after losing the tag belts. Yeah, it's you know, good to see my boys getting some work in. Speaking of my boys, the next matchup for the tag team titles was Team Death Bear, Alex Reigns and my buddy Ruthless Ryan Davidson. They took on Alpha Unit, which is Cedric Payne, and Jasper the Hammer Davis. Man, you know, solid matchup. Obviously, Team Death Bear had not just Stevie Ray, but you know, Abel Andrew Jackson always he's lurking around in the shadows and whatnot. So Alpha Unit really had their hands full, and but a good matchup between the two teams, and I don't think this is over by a long shot. So we'll see what happens next. Following that, as far as I could tell, was Jay Spade versus Matt Lancey, both guys from Wildcat, much like Buku Dao. Actually, Lancey and Spade have had quite the feud at Wildcat, and they brought it to Reality Wrestling. They definitely brought it. Both guys, you know, there were shaky parts here and there, but yeah, I think a little bit of rushing here and there, but for the most part, I enjoy both talents, and I enjoy their work. You know, I was really impressed with Lancey when he debuted, and I've seen Spade a few times, so you know, expecting good things from those guys in the future. Next up was Jason versus Cameron Cole. Jason, J-E-I S accent over the A. N. He took on the cool kid, Cameron Cole. I really enjoyed this matchup. It's good to see Jason really kind of finding his way, much like Cameron Cole did last year, you know, finding his way and really kind of getting into the midst of things. So yeah, it was good to see these two up-and-comers battle it out, and maybe there'll be a matchup between these two in the future because, again, fan of both. As I mentioned earlier, the TV title got vacated, and it was put up in a battle royale. Booker T announced that, once he gave the television champion kind of a trade for the Texas heavyweight title, and now the television title would be up for grabs in a battle royale. And it had, eight of the top talents. Mosca, it had Aiden Cristiano, it had Taylor Ransom. I will not call him kid, although I knew when he was a kid. I knew when he broke in. But anyway, I don't want to get thrown up against the wall or something like that. I mean, not that would happen because, hey, come on. But he was in that match as well as Bartek and JJ Blake. Tempo Terrell was also in that, as well as Hendricks and Brian Keith. Good matchup, man. A lot of, especially with talent, a lot of them will look at a battle royal or a Royal Rumble and the tendency for it to become kind of a cluster, so to speak, and so there's always that fear. But these men represented themselves well. Really did a great job battling it out, and I think history is made. New television champion crowned, and so kudos to the champ. Congratulations to him. I hope he defends it well. When you're the television champion, you're kind of the standard bearer of what reality wrestling brings on television, and since that's my foray, it's be working with that person hand in hand, and trying to get the best television product out of them and out of everyone else. Next up, we had JJ Blake took on Joseph Agal, a newcomer to, or Joe Agal, a newcomer to reality wrestling. Had a pretty solid showing. JJ's, he's kind of increased the amount of aggressiveness, not doing as much showboating as he's done in the past, and I really enjoy what I see from this guy. JJ's always been an entertaining fellow, and it was good to see a newcomer show up and show out, and hopefully we'll see this guy in the future. I thought he represented himself well. Next up, according to this run sheet, again, may not air in this order, so don't quote me or don't look for it to air in this order, because you never know. The next matchup was for the Diamonds Division title. It was the champion, Jada Keys, defending it against the former champion, coming off her first loss since debuting with reality wrestling. I'm talking about Kylie Ray. Both women have quite the history with one another, and it showed in this matchup. I thought both ladies represented themselves well. It was good, fast-paced. I really enjoyed their action. Really enjoyed what I saw from them, and congratulations to the champion. I believe the Diamonds Division will increase in members as 2017 rolls around, and I'm thinking there'll be new challenges for that champion. But again, congratulations. Winning on the biggest night is always quite the accomplishment. So again, congratulations. And finally, in the main event of the show, and what a main event it was. It was a ladder match for the reality wrestling heavyweight title. It was E. Snow defending his title against former champion, Latin heartthrob himself, El Intocable, Gino. And I'm a big fan of both these guys. I've known Snow had quite a bit of talent. When I saw him years before he came to reality wrestling, I always thought that kid was enormously talented. And I'm glad I've seen what he's done since becoming part of reality wrestling. A lot of what he's been able to accomplish. And man, I'm very proud of him. And equally proud of Gino. I mean, given his age, given his the number of years that he's been in the industry, quite a few that he's been with Booker T, and what he's done since his debut as Gino and within reality wrestling, going undefeated up until E. Snow defeated him. And that loss actually was recently aired on reality wrestling television. So, but these two battled it out in a ladder match. It was phenomenal. I mean, they really made use of what they had, and I thought both men showcased, really represented themselves well. I mean, what else can be said about that? I mean, the action was fast and furious, and some big dangerous bumps that can kind of make you grimace and whatnot. And in the end, the champion was crowned, and then Rey Mysterio came out and presented that champion with a new championship belt. We do have a new reality wrestling heavyweight title. It's something awesome, man. Both the new titles are great. I mean, it was just such a great night overall. I mean, it was pretty historic. I just was real happy to be a part of it. And again, congratulations to all those who won titles or retained their titles. I'm truly humbled to be a part of reality wrestling and get to help mentor a lot of these men and women and help them from a television production standpoint and try to get the best out of them. And I know, the next few weeks that's going to be where my focus is, and moving forward that's going to be more or less where my focus is, at least within reality wrestling. So that's kind of my spoilerific or non-spoilerific review of reality wrestling's Christmas Chaos 11. A fun night, a decade in the making. What else can be said about that? If you've never come to a reality wrestling show and you're in the area, man, I advise that you show up to that show, because there's always some bit of history made, and you're going to get, for the amount of matches that we do. I just went through like 12 matches. I believe we started at 7:30, and by 10 o'clock we were done, and fans were able to leave the arena. We give people family entertainment. It's fun and entertaining for all ages, and Booker's and Charmel are big about that, big about a family environment, because they're a family themselves and we're a family ourselves. And it's again, just and if you're not in the area, still support us. Whether support the stars of reality wrestling when they come to your neck of the woods, or check us out on YouTube. You will not be disappointed. I believe we have a pretty solid television product. We're always looking to improve. We always ask for feedback and whatnot, because again, at the end of the day, it's it's a fan-driven form of entertainment, as most entertainment is, and we definitely want people's input as far as how we can improve it, how we can make it better, and all that. So my appreciation to all those that came out and made Christmas Chaos 11 the night that it was. What a special night for everyone. I know everyone involved was truly humbled by the experience. At least, I don't want to speak for everyone, but that would be my opinion, because I was humbled by it, and I'm just sitting in the back watching and helping the men and women craft this art that we're trying to craft. Now, I mentioned that I wouldn't necessarily have guests for the next couple of weeks, because as we're wrapping up 2016, I didn't really want to schedule too many interviews, although I'm going to try to schedule some interviews in the coming weeks. Probably will be traveling with some of my buddies' shows, just so I can potentially get interviews with some of the talent that I wouldn't normally get. Because when it comes to me and doing these sit-down interviews or sit-down conversations, I consider them conversations. Some might consider them interviews. Sometimes I will consider it interviews, since I'm more or less the host and I'm asking questions to my guests. But I really love when it can be conversational, and it's just two people having a conversation about wrestling and life and the journey and all that. I still like to do it face to face. Even with the potential change in the show format, at least from a video standpoint, I may still use the same equipment that I'm using, as far as like a video camera and whatnot, because I never know. I might use some of that for B-roll, what have you. I know I'm going to really try to get some interviews recorded in the coming weeks, so that I can start 2017 with that. Now, again, if I don't have a guest for that particular week, then I'll have some type of thoughts on the week that was, or what really interests me, or how things are going, because 2017, there might be some things opening up. So I'm looking to get some interviews and whatnot now for next week. For those that follow me on Facebook or follow my a couple of the pages that I have, whether it be the Lucha Lounge with Steve DeMarco or my Sexy Steve DeMarco fan page, I did post a picture that was posted. I shared a picture that was posted by Bob Murphy, who's the promoter of Texas All-Star Wrestling, formerly in Humble, and it still does some business in Humble, but they seem to travel quite all over the place. But he had put out a post talking about January 28th, 2017 at the VFW Off 290. TASW is going to have a show called Best of the Best. And kind of a low-key announcement, but he did announce that Zen, a former TASW heavyweight champion, the longest reigning champion in that company's history, would be taking on one Sexy Steve DeMarco, another former TASW heavyweight champion, one of the longer reigns within it. I think we're 1 and 2 actually. But we will be facing each other at Texas All-Star Wrestling's Best of the Best on January 28th, 2017. So next week I will be discussing that situation. I'll be discussing the how, the why, the when that was discussed, how long I've known about that matchup, and what it means for the future of not just me, but also the Lucha Lounge and just potentially some stuff on the horizon. So, as of right now, I will be returning to the wrestling ring January 28th, 2017 at TASW's Best of the Best. And I will say this without giving too much away. I don't foresee it being a one-off. I do foresee me venturing to other companies in 2017, but we'll get into that next week. So you'll have to come and tune in next week. Again, it'll be both in video format, so subscribe to the Lucha Lounge or my YouTube channel, The Steve DeMarco Show on YouTube, or definitely subscribe to the Offshoots Network if you like it in podcast format. But there'll be similar episodes, at least for the next few episodes, until the very first episode of 2017, and then it'll be a brand new world, so to speak, although the videos for my previous videos will still remain there. It's not like I'm going to get rid of them. I do appreciate everyone. I appreciate everyone that views this, that listens to this, that is a fan of this, that's a fan of mine. Hopefully, if you can make it out January 28th, you make it out there January 28th to see me and Zen do battle for the first time. Actually in one-on-one competition. I think we've battled in a triple threat, but again, that's next week. I'll get into that a little bit more. And again, I want to thank all the fans who have supported Reality Wrestling for 2016. It was definitely a year of progression, definitely a year of big moves. I mean, moving to a new venue, our home, the Performance Center, our headquarters. It's great to see the faces that have come and gone within Reality Wrestling. It's great to see those that have taken part, been part of the family, and those that continue to be a part of that family. It's definitely a very special project to me, a very special company to me, and I am just so humbled and touched to be a part of it. And I hope to continue to be part of it for 2017 and years to come. But appreciate all those that made 2016 the success that it was. And without, as I always like to end these, stay cool, stay sexy, stay classy, but come back next week. If you come back next week and you listen to me discuss, the announcement and all that comes with it and what that potentially means, then you're already all that. Until the next time,